The fragile ceasefire hangs over the Persian Gulf like a thin veil. A U.S. carrier strike group maintains station in international waters, its escorts arrayed in precise formation. Shipboard radar systems sweep the horizon in continuous arcs, feeding live data into the combat information centers. Command teams monitor every pulse, cross-referencing satellite imagery with electronic intelligence intercepts, data drawn from systems worth millions. The air is thick with tension even as diplomatic channels remain nominally open. Voices in the operations rooms stay measured, but the underlying strain is unmistakable. Iranian naval units and coastal defense positions mirror the same cautious posture. Their own surveillance assets track the American presence with unrelenting focus. The sea surface appears calm beneath a hazy sky, yet every radar contact carries heightened significance. Deck crews scan distant silhouettes through binoculars while bridge officers log every deviation from expected patterns. High above, American reconnaissance aircraft trace steady, predictable orbits, their sensors drinking in the electromagnetic environment and streaming uninterrupted feeds back to command nodes ashore and afloat. In forward command centers, analysts pore over layered intelligence reports. Minor adjustments in Iranian force positioning are noted and flagged. Vessel movements near critical maritime choke points draw immediate scrutiny. Communications between allied partners flow steadily, updating situational awareness across the theater. The carrier's flight deck hums with quiet activity as maintenance crews prepare aircraft for potential alert status. No aggressive moves have occurred, yet the atmosphere grows heavier with each passing hour. Satellite passes reveal subtle shifts along the Iranian coastline. Additional mobile radar units appear to have repositioned overnight. Electronic emissions from shore-based sites show increased activity, though still within the bounds of the ceasefire understanding. In the carrier's combat information center, watch officers exchange quiet updates, their screens glowing with overlapping tracks. The rhythm of operations remains controlled, but the margin for error feels narrower than before. Crews aboard the destroyers feel the weight of the moment. Lookouts maintain visual scans while sonar operators listen for any unusual underwater contacts. Communications specialists monitor encrypted channels for any sign of miscalculation. Back in regional command headquarters, senior officers review the latest assessments, weighing the balance between visible deterrence and the need to avoid provocation. The ceasefire is holding for now, but the first cracks are beginning to show in the intelligence picture. A new report filters through the chain. Irregular vessel activity detected near vital shipping lanes. Initial analysis suggests these movements deviate from established patterns. Commanders request immediate verification from multiple sensor platforms. The data converges quickly, painting a picture of deliberate probing. Tension rises another notch as watch teams adjust their focus, eyes locked on the unfolding situation. Across the Gulf, Iranian operators register the heightened American alertness. Their own command loops tighten in response. The delicate equilibrium that defined the early hours of the ceasefire now feels increasingly unstable. Every radar sweep, every intercepted transmission adds another layer to the mounting pressure. The region holds its breath, but the pulse of vigilance beats faster. As the first day under the ceasefire draws toward its close, analysts in multiple command centers begin connecting isolated incidents into a clearer pattern. Small deviations are no longer dismissed as routine. The systems are watching. The decision-makers are listening. And somewhere in the chain of command, the first quiet questions about the durability of this peace begin to surface. The ceasefire is no longer a guarantee. It has become a test that the forces on both sides are now watching with sharpened focus. The horizon remains quiet for the moment, but the invisible currents of tension are gathering strength, pulling the situation toward an uncertain edge. The first clear breach arrives without warning. An Iranian surface vessel closes distance on a U.S. patrol group operating near the established maritime boundary. Radio challenges crackle across the open frequencies, met with delayed and incomplete replies that stretch protocol to its breaking point. In the combat information centers, operators freeze for a split second before the alerts cascade through the system. Command authorities issue immediate instructions for a deliberate course adjustment, preserving separation while multiple surveillance platforms lock onto the contact for positive identification. At the exact same moment, cyber monitoring stations detect probing attempts against secure communication links. The intrusions are isolated and neutralized within seconds by layered defensive protocols, but the intent is unmistakable. Radar operators log brief unannounced illumination from shore-based fire control systems. Each incident is logged, escalated, and fed into the shared operational picture. The rhythm of the watch shifts noticeably as crews move from routine vigilance to heightened alert. Fighter crews on Ready 5 status receive updated threat briefs while still strapped in their cockpits. Aircraft engines remain silent for now, but the tension in the air is electric. Naval bridge teams coordinate with dispersed assets across the strike group, their voices clipped and precise over encrypted channels. Reports flow in from air, surface, and electronic domains, converging into a single, increasingly concerning narrative. Isolated events that could once be explained away now form a pattern that cannot be ignored. In regional command headquarters, senior leaders join the priority conference links. Screens fill with real-time feeds from the carrier, orbiting reconnaissance assets, and shore-based intelligence nodes. Analysts work rapidly to fuse the data, searching for intent behind the actions. The carrier strike group executes a minor repositioning to improve its defensive posture without appearing provocative. Every move is calculated, every transmission weighed for its potential to escalate or de-escalate. Iranian forces respond in kind. Their own command chains activate additional monitoring assets. Surface vessels adjust formations while coastal defense units increase their emission levels. The Gulf, once merely tense, now crackles with mutual suspicion. Communications between the two sides become more formal, more guarded, the diplomatic temperature dropping with each exchange. Deck crews on American ships feel the shift in tempo. Weapons systems remain in standby, but readiness states are quietly elevated. Lookouts scan the horizon with renewed intensity. In the air, reconnaissance flights tighten their orbits, sensors drinking in every available signal. Back in command centers, the atmosphere grows thicker as fresh intelligence confirms similar probing actions in multiple sectors simultaneously. The ceasefire is visibly fraying. What began as minor deviations has evolved into coordinated tests of boundaries. Commanders on both sides now face the difficult task of projecting strength while still searching for off-ramps. The systems continue to watch, the radars continue to sweep, and the decision-makers continue to weigh every option as the margin for peaceful resolution narrows. A new set of contacts appears on screens. This time the movements are more deliberate, the timing more synchronized. The first unmistakable signs of breakdown have arrived, and the forces in the region are now operating under the shadow of potential open confrontation. The situation deteriorates with alarming speed. Multiple unidentified aircraft contacts flood the radar displays across the theater. Fighter jets launch from carrier decks in rapid sequence, climbing into the sky to establish intercept vectors while crews operate under strict rules of engagement. At sea, the strike group executes sharp defensive maneuvers, hulls cutting through the water as electronic countermeasures begin pulsing outward to confuse potential targeting systems. Iranian forces answer in force. Their own aircraft rise from inland bases, vectoring toward the contested airspace to mirror American movements. Naval units increase speed and adjust formations, creating a complex, high-stakes ballet of steel and electronics across the Gulf. Command loops tighten dramatically as national-level authorities join the secure conference calls. Voices overlap in measured but urgent tones as fresh updates pour in from every domain. Overlapping incidents erupt almost simultaneously. Close naval approaches coincide with aerial standoffs. Electronic warfare systems engage in a silent but intense duel, jamming and counter-jamming filling the electromagnetic spectrum. Surveillance feeds stream continuously, forcing operators to triage information in real time. Decision centers fill with the glow of multiple screens and a low hum of urgent but controlled conversation. Commanders issue directives that ripple outward through the chain at lightning speed. The carrier repositions slightly while maintaining air cover. Destroyers adjust station to provide better mutual support. Fighter pilots maintain visual and electronic contact with opposing aircraft, the distance between formations measured in tenths miles and seconds. Every action is monitored, every response calculated for its effect on the broader picture. The pace becomes relentless. What began as probes has transformed into a coordinated pressure campaign across air and sea domains. Intelligence analysts work feverishly to anticipate the next move, feeding assessments upward even as new contacts appear. The Gulf has become a live, breathing battle space where every radar ping and every radio transmission carries the potential to tip the balance. In the cockpits and on the bridges, crews execute their missions with professional precision, yet the underlying tension is palpable. Systems perform flawlessly under load. Communications remain clear despite the growing complexity. But the strategic temperature has risen to a dangerous level, and both sides now operate with the knowledge that a single miscalculation could ignite full-scale conflict. The region has crossed an invisible threshold. The ceasefire is effectively dead. Rapid escalation now dictates the rhythm of events, pulling forces on all sides deeper into a dangerous confrontation that no one can fully control. The conflict expands into every domain at once. High overhead, fighter pilots execute precise avoidance maneuvers against probing threats, while onboard defensive systems automatically counter jamming attempts. Live data streams feed directly into command nodes, allowing split-second adjustments across the theater. On the surface, destroyer crews track fast-moving contacts, coordinating layered defensive measures as the carrier group repositions to maintain sea control. In the invisible realm of cyberspace, teams repel intensified intrusion attempts aimed at disrupting command and control links. Their rapid countermeasures preserve the vital information flow that binds every element of the operation together. Surveillance platforms struggle against sustained interference, forcing operators to fuse data from air, sea, space, and ground-based sensors into coherent pictures under extreme pressure. Electronic warfare blankets large sectors of the Gulf, creating a chaotic electromagnetic environment where radar contacts multiply and ghost targets appear and disappear. Bridge teams and cockpit crews exchange rapid updates in overlapping communication loops. Every domain feeds pressure into the next, creating a single interconnected battle space that lives and reacts as one organism. Command hubs orchestrate the full spectrum of operations with cold precision. Orders ripple from national authorities to satellite relays, then down to individual ships and aircraft in seconds. The carrier maintains its central position while air wings provide continuous combat air patrol. Naval escorts execute complex screening maneuvers, their systems working in harmony to protect the high-value assets. The intensity peaks as forces maneuver through the electronic haze. Pilots report visual contacts at extreme range. Surface vessels track high-speed threats while maintaining formation integrity. Cyber defenses register continued probing but hold firm, ensuring that critical decision-making channels remain intact. The entire theater pulses with synchronized activity, every action instantly reshaping the tactical picture for both sides. Operators and commanders maintain discipline even as the scale of the confrontation grows. Systems are pushed to their limits. Crews operate at peak performance. Yet beneath the professional execution lies the stark awareness that this multi-domain clash could spiral beyond anyone's ability to contain. A single anomaly suddenly stands out amid the storm of data. Something in the command architecture has shifted. The discovery sends a ripple of urgent activity through the network as teams race to understand its implications before the next wave of pressure arrives. Urgent consultations link field commanders with national authorities as the anomaly is isolated and assessed in real time. A targeted operational shift is authorized, redirecting key assets to reinforce the vulnerable node, while open communication channels transmit clear, measured signals of restraint. Air patrols adjust their intercept posture. Surface vessels begin to widen separations, with systems confirming mutual deconfliction across multiple platforms. The critical turning point unfolds in coordinated waves. Verification of disengagement flows through every domain almost simultaneously. Cyber activity drops sharply as intrusion attempts cease. Electronic warfare emissions decrease, allowing clearer pictures to reform on the screens. Fighter aircraft ease their aggressive positioning while maintaining situational awareness. Naval forces execute controlled maneuvers that increase distance without signaling weakness. In command centers across the region, the atmosphere shifts from acute tension to cautious relief as confirmation after confirmation arrives. Intelligence assets verify the pullback on both sides. Losses have remained limited. The systems held under immense pressure. Decision-makers on all levels demonstrate the judgment necessary to step back from the brink before irreversible thresholds were crossed. The conflict stabilizes at a new, wary equilibrium. Forces withdraw to revised lines of control. Maritime traffic begins to resume under heavy monitoring. The strategic map of the region has shifted permanently, with new realities now shaping future calculations. Both sides have tested the other's resolve and capabilities, and both have seen the cost of continued escalation. In the final hours of the simulation, the Gulf grows quieter once more. Reconnaissance aircraft maintain their orbits, but the urgency in their sensor feeds has diminished. Command teams stand down from the highest alert states, though vigilance remains elevated. The outcome reflects the brutal efficiency of modern interconnected warfare and the narrow margin that separates controlled confrontation from catastrophe. This scenario ends where many real crises begin, on the razor edge of conflict. Systems performed, judgment held, restraint ultimately prevailed. Yet the final feeds linger on the horizon, a stark reminder that in any future confrontation, the next fragile ceasefire would face the same unforgiving test under even greater pressure.